Hello, my travel advisor friends. I'm Allie Pierce. I'm an Emmy Award-winning journalist turned freelance show host, travel content creator, and advisor. And since leaving my full-time job working in TV news in 2018, I have been traveling the world with my mom, who just so happens to be a travel advisor like all of you, creating content and growing my community of more than 18,000 travel lovers. And like many of you, I had grand plans for 2020. I was gonna visit 11 countries, land amazing clients, and officially become a travel advisor at my mom's agency. And then COVID happened. And well, we all know how the rest of that story goes. But would you believe me if I told you that this month has been the best and busiest month of my new career? I have landed amazing clients, been interviewed on major TV news networks, and started planning some female group travel trips for the future. So you might be wondering, how the heck did she do it? How did all of this happen? I have one answer for you. Social media. It is a powerful tool, my friends, which is why I am here today to share with you some of my tips to keep you relevant as travel advisors during the travel shutdown so that you can be top of mind when your clients are ready to travel again. Plus, I will be sharing my 3 tips for how you can grow organically an engaged community full of your dream clients. Let's get into it. You know, I think we all experienced that moment of panic at the beginning of this pandemic, like, oh my God, how am I even gonna talk about travel right now? Cases were on the rise, flights were getting canceled, your clients were most likely calling you in a panic, and the last thing that was on your mind was probably posting on social media. Am I right? I know. But you know what? One of the worst things we could do as travel advisors is to go radio silent right now. And it's understandable why you would want to do so completely, but if you think about it, your clients are looking to you to be their trusted resource for travel information right now. So if you're wondering, okay, how do I do that? I'm going to share with you 3 tips to stay top of mind and serve your clients on social media during the COVID-19 pandemic. First, you need to educate. I am a firm believer that you need to give in order to get. And so this might go against all business practices and thinking, but I do believe that you need to give some of your best information away for free. And the reason I say that is when people see you giving away all this value for free, it makes them think, she's telling me all of this for free? What would it be like if I actually paid her to plan my next trip? I can only imagine the value I would get. So you really need to build trust. And if you're wondering, all right, how do I build trust? That's by answering your clients' biggest travel questions. And you answer them by simply asking for them. So pick your preferred platform and ask your clients what their biggest travel questions are right now. I did this a couple weeks ago where I simply put up a post on Instagram and asked 3 very simple questions of my audience. I got 94 responses back. That means I have 94 ideas of content that I'm going to be putting out that my community is so interested in simply because they asked those questions to begin with. Now, that could also look like a post once a week where you kind of do like a travel tip Tuesday where you share valuable information just one time a week. Or maybe, let's say, you have a newsletter and that's more your preferred medium. Well, once you come across a valuable, reliable article on the internet, you send that out in a newsletter. Doesn't have to be long or any sort of fancy formatting. Just type it up. Hey, thought you might be interested. This would be helpful to you. Wanted to share it. Maybe video is more your medium. And so as a way to answer kind of the common questions that you're consistently getting from your clients, maybe you record a video just like this, answering them. Maybe that goes up once a month, maybe every other week. Decide what works for you. You can also use apps like Canva to make simple graphics like my friend Glow did to make information you're sharing more visually appealing. Isn't this awesome? And P.S. Canva is totally free. The second way to stay top of mind is to inspire. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that most of your clients are really missing travel right now. So don't be afraid to dive back into some of your old travel photos and videos as a way to talk about some of your favorite destinations and educate your clients on them. Now, one idea would be to kind of do sort of like a travel stories series. Something I did at the beginning of quarantine was start a story series where I talked about all the wacky and wild things that happened to me while I was working as a TV news anchor. I shared a story a day for 30 days, and my audience showed up every single day because they knew that they were going to get another part of the story. They were hooked. So you could do a version of this, but with travel stories. Share some of your most memorable, funny, meaningful moments from your travels. And it doesn't have to be 30 days. It could be maybe a travel story once a week. Pick whatever works for you, but I have to say that nothing captivates an audience more than a solid, memorable story. Ooh, and quick tip, if you are gonna do a story series, make sure that your audience knows the timeline. Tell them, hey, I'm gonna be sharing a travel story every day for the next 2 weeks on my Instagram. That way they know to show up every single day to get a new part of that story. My last way to stay relevant is to simply entertain. I mean, we're all human, and I think right now many of us are turning to social media as a form of escapism. And so if it feels like something that would be on brand or something you'd be comfortable with, I think it's okay to let your guard down a little bit and really meet your clients where they're at. If that looks like sharing a video that made you laugh and has nothing to do with travel, give yourself the space and the grace to share things like that. So one of the funny things that I've seen some of my fellow travel creators do is to recreate some of their favorite travel photos at home. You can do what Helene in between did here and spread out some sand and pretend you're in the dunes of Dubai. It's honestly so sad that it's kind of hilarious. Or let's say some of your amazing travel plans got canceled, which they probably did. You could do something silly like Joe Grange did and use the week that she was going to be traveling through Portugal to kind of like recreate her itinerary and share about the destination while putting a funny, humorous spin on the situation. You know, the thing that really connects all of us right now is the fact that we are all going through this pandemic. We all have bad days, we all have ups and downs, and we all probably really want to be able to travel again. And especially as travel professionals in 2020, this year has been devastating for us. So don't feel like you can't open up and share how you're feeling with your clients. I honestly think it would be a really great way to connect with them on a deeper level. All right, here's why all of this is so important. Travel is a long lead purchase. I mean, someone just doesn't see a photo on Instagram and look at it and go, oh, okay, the Milestone Hotel, where's that? London? Awesome, I'm gonna book 7 nights there. I mean, if you have a client like that, keep them forever. But for most of us, we need a little bit of massaging and kind of some time before we make a big travel purchase. So I want you to think of social media right now as kind of like your way of leaving little breadcrumbs for your clients or maybe even new potential clients to think of you when they are going to be making their travel purchases once they feel safe to do so. Because you've showed up for them in this time, you are going to be top of mind when they are ready to make that purchase. Okay, so you have positioned yourself as a trusted travel resource. You have shown up for your clients on social media. Now let's talk about how you can use this time to build an organic and engaged community that you can eventually turn into clients down the road. And just for the purposes of these tips, I am going to be talking about Instagram because that's the platform I've been able to grow on, and it's also the platform that I kind of feel like an expert on. My first tip is that you gotta show yourself. If you are looking to really connect with your clients, beautiful photos of destinations, while amazing, will only get you so far. I mean, it's called social media for a reason. We want to be social. And so creating these deeper connections with your clients is done by making sure that they know who you are, what you're all about. It's kind of like brand recognition. So if you're wondering, all right, how do I do this? I would start by posting a photo of yourself and sharing some fun facts about you, kind of like how I did in this post right here. You can share some fun facts, maybe your favorite destinations, information about your agency, or heck, even random things about you that maybe only your family knows. And then you can ask your audience to introduce themselves to you in the comments as a way to keep the conversation and engagement going. Now, I would do this kind of like reintroduction of yourself maybe every month or so as a way to consistently meet new clients and community members where they're at and make sure that they know what you're about, who you are, so that they keep your brand top of mind. Some other quick tips: you want to make sure that your profile picture is a clear photo of you. And show your face in photos every once in a while. There's some statistic out there that says photos with faces in them get 38% more likes. And you can test this out on your own account by comparing how many likes and comments you get on photos with you in them versus without you in them. Because Instagram is a social platform, people like brands, accounts, and companies that they feel like they know. And I bet they will choose to work with or hire the travel advisor that they know, like, and trust versus the one that they don't. My second tip for growing a community is that consistency is key. Your audience needs to know that you are going to show up for them so that they show up for you. Think about your content as kind of like the Today Show. You know that every morning you can turn on the TV at 7 a.m. to that channel and you are going to get the news. And that's really what keeps you coming back. You know that you can get this information when you are seeking it out at the time you're seeking it out. Your platform kind of needs to be the same way. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be delivering content every single day at the exact same time, but you should pick a time and a schedule that really works for you and is feasible. Now, my biggest tip for staying consistent is to batch out your content. What I do is I pick a day of the week, it's usually Sunday nights, where I write out all of my captions and pick the photos that go along with those captions. And now I like to use a platform like Later or an app called Preview to schedule out all of my posts. And you're able to also plan out your hashtags, so it's all super streamlined and you really don't even have to think about it when you actually need to post on social. My last tip for growing your community is to collaborate with other people in your space. One of the easiest ways to tap into a brand new audience that might not have ever heard of you before is by working with other travel advisors or even an influencer in your city. And so I think you have to first define what your goals are here. Is it to grow your newsletter? Is it to grow your client base? Maybe to grow your social media following? Whatever that is, find someone who kind of aligns with those similar goals. And then maybe you do something like a giveaway. Let's say you want to grow your social media following and you partner up with another travel advisor who wants to do the same. And in order to enter that giveaway, the person has to follow you and also follow the other travel advisor. It's a way to kind of grow an audience and tap into their following and also your own. Another idea would be to sort of start like an Instagram live series that you do maybe once a week, once a month, whatever works for you, where you bring on other travel advisors, maybe your hotel contacts, your destination marketing specialists, a tourism board, what have you. But you bring them on to have a conversation. And that way it's a benefit to your audience because they're getting valuable information, but it's also a benefit to you because what happens when you go live on Instagram is that Instagram sends a notification to your audience letting them know that you are live, but it also sends a notification to the other person's audience who you're going live with. So let's say you've picked a tourism board that has a massive following. Well, all those people have just gotten a notification that that tourism board is going live with you, which means they might tune in, and if they like what they hear, they might just go ahead and hit that follow button. So I think when deciding as to who you're gonna partner with to do these giveaways or what have you, I think the most important thing that you can do is just to make sure that your values and your goals align. I know I just hit you with a ton of information, but before I let you go, I want to just quickly rapid fire go through some things that I like to call my social media toolkit. And just in case there's like an app there or a program that might be helpful to you. Okay, so I plan out all of my Instagram content with the help of an app called Later. It's both available on desktop and as an app. In order to edit all of my photos, I use the Lightroom mobile app. To edit my videos for YouTube, I use Adobe Premiere Pro on my desktop, but that's kind of a little bit more advanced. And so if you're new to video editing, I always like to recommend an app called InShot to get beautiful Instagram story templates. I love this app called Unfold, and to kind of make these beautiful graphics that make it look like you have a graphic design degree when you actually don't. There's an app called Canva that I also like to call Photoshop for Dummies. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful to you. And if you have any questions that I might not have addressed, I'd love to connect with you outside of this conference. You can find me on YouTube at Alle Abroad or on Instagram at Alle Pierce, and I will check in with you guys on those platforms. Bye!